Hi.
Hello.
I missed you so much.
Me too.
I'm never leaving again.
Long time no pod.
It changed my life.
And the FBI wants to know your location immediately.
You ever heard of Al Capone? And while I am a Broadway girl, they fuck in the bathroom at the club.
Is there even enough pages in this book?
Plenty.
How does one make heroin? If you want to be all smart and shit, at least help the family business.
You would know how it takes to run a fucking business, but you don't. Don't do that to me, but it hits in the book. No poetry because they barely know how to spell their own name. Second page of the book, man's blonde.
So, yeah.
Covered in tattoos.
That'll do it.
And scene.
Cool, global, got it.
He's just a tortured blonde man. And
You read one mafia romance.
what the hell? I gotta read this.
I gotta stop. Like, I'm sick.
Because it's us dancing to Pony and no one made us. I'm just laughing because it's like just actually ridiculous.
Oh, you can't have chicken tenders on a Tuesday? Get fucked. It smells. Dang.
She sent me the eyeballs and I said, fuck you. Lucy hates a riddle. I would say to Jameson, Bofa. Yeah, boy.
It's not true, but I just sliced my finger open on my tripod, or my little like arm.
Oh, lovely. Yummy.
It's a sharp piece of metal, so that's so fun. Anyways, how's everyone doing? Long time no pod.
I know. I actually would like to start this pod with two statements. One, so I was listening to the last pod episode that went out where we talked about Nightbane, and we talked about a few other things. But I made a comment that I would like to resend because I don't agree with it anymore. I feel bad. But I kind of bagged on Allie Hazelwood for her like novels that have to revolve around all of her books besides Bride revolve around women in STEM. And I was kind of complaining about that, but I'd like to resend my statement because I love her books. I read one of them this last month and it changed my life. My second statement is I'd love to wish a happy Memorial Day to Bo from the Chestnut Springs series. He's not dead, but yay!
He is alive.
He's alive
Is he
and
really
well.
alive?
I don't know. I didn't read that one, but I just
For
the last
heroes,
I heard, he was dying. So
I believe he made it out alive.
he did make it out alive. Thank God.
Yes, so I did read that book. Well, amazing. Well, on that note, Rach, what have you been reading?
May was a month of reading. I read 11 books so far in May. I don't think I'll read another one. I'm reading 2 books right now, but I feel like I won't finish them. If I do, it'll be crazy, but I read a lot on my Kindle because I went on vacation and brought my Kindle, and it's easy to travel with. So I read 3 Mafia books this month. What the hell?
And the FBI wants to know your location immediately.
They're on to me because they shouldn't look at my Kindle because I got serial killer books, I got Mafia books. I'm taking notes.
If you ever have to go on trial, like, I'm gonna be on the stand being like, I know, however.
No, I don't even know where to start. Like, I just read, I finished Foxglove, which is the second book in the Belladonna series.
Yes.
It was really good. We got a new, like, not demigod, they're gods, basically. But Fate made an appearance, and Fate is... I'm not gonna fucking put that back. What am I doing? Fate is Death's brother, and they have a little rivalry. So that was fun.
Yes.
Really enjoyed that. Looking forward to the third book. But I think the craziest thing that I read is I ate through those 3 Mafia books. Like
And that'll
like
do it.
I read those books in one sitting. Like I didn't even get
Yeah.
up to pee. Like
Hmm.
it was I chomped through those. One of them, the first one that I read was called Wretched, and it is part of the Never After. If y'all know what Hooked is,
Hmm.
it's by the same author. It's in that series, and this one's a Wizard of Oz retelling, but they're in the mafia. Like they run drugs, they run heroin. Um, yeah, and the whole plot is basically the Alphaba character is like the daughter
Oh.
of the mob boss. Um, and she has 2 sisters, Dorothy and Nessa. Um, and they kind of run this, you know, heroin ring, but they also own like strip clubs and bars and whatever. Um,
As
in
mafia
Chicago,
people do.
because every mafia book that I've read now, the 3 of them, all in Chicago. But I guess that makes
Well, where
sense.
else does the mafia exist?
So true. But I didn't know that. I like I asked my brother, I was like, why do I read these mafia books and they all take place in Chicago? And he goes, you ever heard of Al Capone? And I was like, and I was like, why are they always Italian?
So, have you seen The Godfather?
No.
Me neither, but
Every man ever. um
I have this movie I think you would love.
and I'm like, but so the plot of the book is there is a DEA agent and he's obviously like hot and sexy and he's kind of like the bad boy of the office. And his name is Nicholas. And while I am a Broadway girl, I don't remember a lot of the characters, so I don't know who Nicholas is supposed to be. I will not lie. I don't know. His name is Nick though.
I
I just don't like I know who Dorothy is. I know that like her name's Evelina. I know she's supposed to be Alphaba. There's Nessa, who is Alphaba's sister in Wicked. Um Bach makes an appearance. You know. But
I mean,
anyway,
it's a loose retelling,
yeah.
reimagining, I guess we should say.
Yes. So Nick, the DEA agent, gets called into his boss's office and he's like, I need you to go undercover on a case. And he's like, what's the case? And he's like, I need you to take down you know, the fucking mafia, the Italian mafia in Chicago. And he's
Oh, so
like,
21 Jump
yes.
Street.
And he's like, I, I'm on
I'm
it.
in.
And so his plan was to like seduce Dorothy, like pretend to be like a jewel thief because I guess the Wizard of Oz Mafia wanted to get into like selling like jewels like on the black market. So they're like, you're gonna go in as this like expert jewel thief and like help them.
Oh,
But
the
really
Emerald
you're
City. I get it.
yes. But in reality, you're gonna like try to get the secrets and like get the cops to bust the mafia.
Obviously.
So he's like, oh, well, perfect. Like, Dorothy's like really pretty. Like, I'll just seduce her. Like, it'll be so easy and I'll get all the secrets because obviously she would know the secrets because like she works in the family business. But that doesn't go to plan because he ends up falling in love with Evelina, who's like badass, like long black hair, like always full beat, always in thigh high
Green.
boots, green, like, um, and they first meet at a club because Nick is going out with his friend like the night before Nick is gonna go away and like be undercover, so he's not gonna be able to like, you know, hang out with his friend or whatever. So they go out, they meet. They obviously don't know who each other is. They fuck in the bathroom at the club. Next day.
Does he like tell her? He's like, oh, I'm an agent. Or is he like not that
No,
stupid?
he's
Okay.
not that stupid. He's like, because they're talking at the bar and he's like, oh, or she says like, oh, like what do you do for work? And he's like, oh, like he kind of like lies about his actual profession, but he's like, oh yeah, I'm out with a friend, like I'm gonna be like my job is kind of like I travel a lot for my work.
That plays well though.
Yeah.
Smart
So
man.
next day he is like getting a meeting set up at like the father's like restaurant bar to be like, hey, I want to, I'm coming in to be your like jewel thief guy. So he sets up the meeting, and guess who walks into the club? The girl he fucked at the bar. And he's like,
I
oh shit,
goes,
Jew.
Jew.
And she's like, what the fuck? Like, you lied to me about your job? And he goes, I didn't lie. I just didn't give you the full, like, rundown.
Would it be on brand if I told you the truth, though? No.
Yeah. And so he is going under a fake name also as well. So
he told her his real name and then his fake name?
Yeah. So she's like, are you lying to me? And he goes, then he kind of tells her the truth of being like, I couldn't tell you like really what I do for work and like my real name because I deal jewels or whatever,
and that's,
and he's honestly sense. He was kind of smart about that, but she was kind of pissed, so then they become enemies.
Is there even enough pages in this book?
Plenty.
Enough.
But then so it goes on, whatever, like we're having a great time. There's like so much tension between them, obviously. But Nick is still trying to figure out like, okay, so who is like the mastermind behind like selling heroin? And Nick got into this job of like trying to like get rid of like people who sell drugs and like all that stuff because his mom was a drug addict to heroin, which is the drug that the Wizard of Oz people deal. So he kind of is like, it's kind of like a revenge plot.
Yeah.
Little does he know that Evelina is the one who actually makes the heroin.
And maybe neither of us should know this information. How does one make heroin?
Well,
I thought.
Yeah.
You like get like in their case, they would get like shipped, or they'd be like so and so makes it, and they'd just be like okay, and they just kind of manage dealing. So that's an interesting.
Yeah, also, so she actually like cooks it. She's in the kitchen.
Seems
cooking.
Below her pay grade.
Yeah, but she's really into like, so they make it through poppies, which I don't know if that's actually real, and I don't feel safe enough to fact check that.
I got you. It is. They do make drugs out of poppies.
So she has like an underground like layer where she has like a greenhouse, and she's really into botany. That's how she like got into it. Like she's really into like plants and stuff like that. And then her dad's like, oh well, you can just start making drugs.
Hey, yeah, if you want to be all smart and shit, at least help the family business.
And well, what's that Kim Kardashian thing? She's like, you would know how it takes to run a fucking business, but you don't. But he doesn't. Nick doesn't find this out until later that she does this, after they've like hooked up a few times. Obviously,
as it would go,
and they both discover that they have a love of poetry. So he's like, they're like making out, and he's like saying poetry to her. Ew. It kind of hits. I wouldn't like that. Don't do that to me. But it hits in the book, like in the context.
You know how like
you exist in the context of which
thing that came before you. Yeah, so like, how do I even explain this? Sometimes when people like type on paper is like not really the people they date, and it's like, or like in theory you like something but like not really. I feel like in books, in theory, it's like, oh, I get it, but but it's because probably the only people I've ever talked to in my life are finance bros who are just gross. So
yeah, like they wouldn't know poetry because they barely know how to spell their own name.
I'd be like, where the fuck did you learn that?
Yeah, it's like, that's weird. But I wrote in my notes, I wasn't really taking a lot of notes on books that I read this month. But the only thing that I wrote in my notes from this book is chapter 26. So I was like, what the fuck happened in chapter 26? So I go back and I look. And I remember and I go, why did you write that down? Because, so FBI agents listening, close your ears. Listening
Now's
ears
the time
off.
To tune out.
Yeah.
This is
Click
not
off.
for you. Scroll.
So she's kind of like, okay, Nick, homie man, is getting a little sus. So I'm going to follow him because I saw that he abruptly left this gala that my family's hosting. Where's he going? She follows him to this apartment complex to where we find out his sister lives. But in his files that she like dug through to be like, is this guy telling the truth? Said he's an only child. So she's like, where could he be going? And he's at the door of the apartment and she pulls up behind him, gun to the head, like, you're fucking lying to me? Like, where the are you going to see like a hooker? Like, who are you seeing? Because she's like, I thought we had something. And he's like, no, I'm going to see my sister. And she's like, oh, so now you're lying to me about like blah 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 this. And like,
what
he's like,
fucking sister?
He's like, I couldn't put her in my like files because like I didn't want her to get hurt. Like, what? He's spitting these lies. So then they're in a.
No, but
then
that was
they like
smart.
yeah, but then they leave and like they go in the back alley and they're like fighting with each other. And then he pushes her up against a wall, takes the gun out of her hand and fucks her with the gun.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
I gotta go.
God,
gotta go.
I can't be here anymore.
Like, I don't know what, and I said this in the last episode as well, when we were talking about our serial killers. I don't know what it is, but it just itches my brain like no other. It just like, it gets me. And then, so after that, I started a series called, it's the Brutal Birthright series, and they're all mafia. It's interconnected mafia romance.
Obviously.
And the first one, I didn't like. Literally, my review was, I don't know about that. And I gave it like 3 stars. Because I did, it was like true enemies to lovers. Like, she did try to kill them on their wedding day.
Yes.
Because they had an arranged marriage to like unite the like Irish mafia and the Italian mafia.
That is a big deal.
Yeah. So she's like, well, I fucking hate him. Like, why am I gonna go like marry this guy that I don't even know and or like? Because he's like supposed to be our enemy. So that one was like, bah. But then I was like, you know what? I'll pick up the second one because the second one's about a ballerina, and that just like does it for me. Maybe it's because like I was a ballerina
Former
for Dancers Unite. So I was like, I just like get it. Second page of the book, man's blonde.
No. Yeah.
Covered in tattoos.
That'll do it.
And scene. He's covered in tattoos. He's Polish.
Bullshit.
And
wait, how is he Polish?
He's from Poland.
Like, there's a Polish mafia?
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of mafias in this one. There's the Polish mafia, the Russian mafia, the Italian mafia, and the Irish mafia.
Checks.
I think there's one more, but I can't remember. The next book is like a different, like it's one of the brothers from the Italian mafia, but I don't remember who the girl's from. Whatever. But the second book is called Stolen Heir, so it is the good Stolen Heir, not the Holly Black one. Boo. So
boo.
This one 8. So we open the scene. It's him, hot Polish man. His name is Mikołaj. I hope I said that right. They call him Miko sometimes.
Yeah, of course they do. Like,
and so he's like so hot. We open the book. He's in Poland, and he's like, he's going home to his little house that he shares with his sister because it's like him and his sister are the only people like left in his family. And he's like, hey, girl, like, where are you? Dead in the bathtub.
So he's the only one left.
Yeah, so actually, it's only him. And he's pissed, obviously, because he's like, I love my sister. So he's like, well, I'm gonna fucking get back at the people who killed her, because like he's like, I know who killed them, because the fucking Polish mafia. Who else would do that? And he's like, I don't know why they'd kill her. Like, we weren't, like, they were just like normal, like 16-year-old like school kids. So then he goes after the 3 mafia guys that killed her, and he kills them like successfully.
Then he comes. Why they killed her?
Oh. No. Yeah, no, she just died. Like, they just killed her. I don't. So then he like comes face to face with the boss of the Polish mafia, and he's like, "It's pretty impressive what you just did there, dude. You killed 3 of my men, and they had no idea. Like, they had no idea they were being like stalked."
Epic.
And he's like, well, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you next. And he's like, well, I got a proposition for you. How about you join my gang? We're gonna move to Chicago and start the Polish mafia there. And he's like, I bet. I have nothing else to live for. I'm gonna join the mafia. I think he was just so like upset. And then so
not him joining the mafia. Why do we have to go to Chicago?
I don't know. They want to start like the mafia there. Also, Poland's like
have a
awful.
Mafia here.
I think they want to expand.
Cool, global, got it.
Global mafia. So they moved to Chicago, and then leader mafia man becomes kind of like a father figure to Miko. But then the Irish mafia kills his like father figure, the leader of the mafia.
That was crazy.
And that happens in the first book.
How many books did you read?
2. This series is like 7 books.
Oh, okay. The first book you read that happened, and then they recapped it and picked up his story in the second book. Got it.
Yes,
sorry,
but we don't.
What do you mean?
Yeah. So Miko's like, well, now I have to fucking like figure out a way to get back at like the Irish, because they killed like my dad essentially. Mm-hmm. So Mr. Miko becomes kind of like the leader of the Irish or the Polish mafia. He owns all these strip clubs and bars. So one day he's in his bar called Jungle, which I thought was really funny. I thought that was so funny. I was like, oh, no way. Oh my God.
I'm there. Okay, Roku City.
Okay, Roku City bar with hot bar owner.
Yeah, so which mafia owns Roku City bar?
Definitely the Polish. God, this man definitely owns Roku City bar. So he is at the bar doing his shit, you know, running the club, and then he sees this girl walk in, and obviously she's so pretty. And she's the daughter of the leader of the Irish mafia, and he goes, that one, I'm going to kidnap it. So he has her kidnapped like by one of his goons and brought to his like creepy mansion in like the middle of nowhere, like outskirts Chicago. And I'm like, take me. And so it's kind of like it's kind of like a Beauty and the Beast situation. Oh, okay, like a Stockholm syndrome kind of thing.
Epic.
Because she obviously ends up falling for him because she's like, oh well, no, there's like this softer side of him, like he's just like so tortured. He's just a tortured blonde man. And I was like, this girl is me. He's just had a lot of trauma. He's not all bad.
What's been stuck in my head?
Uh-huh.
He's bald. He's bald and he's torturing people with hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's blonde.
He's blonde.
And he's just torturing people.
He's just torturing people. He doesn't care what they look like. But I wrote in my review, I was like, no way they wrote a mafia book where the main guy looks like High Reeve Draco. Like covered in tattoos, like platinum blonde hair, like ice gray eyes, like. But some of his she's like, so there's this one scene where she like, his sleeves are rolled up so you can see his forearms, and there's obviously a lot of tattoos there. But she sees like a lot of them you can't figure out what they are. They're just kind of like these intricate patterns. But in the patterns, there's these little like symbols, and they're symbols from like his favorite books that he would read with his sister. So he has like a little like drink me potion from like Alice in Wonderland. There's another one from the Bell Jar. And some of them are like Polish novels. And she was like, "Oh, so you're just tortured. I'm in love with you, and we're gonna fuck."
He's blonde.
He's blonde.
He's tortured.
That's me. He's blonde. And he has a tragic past. And I want him.
And that's okay.
Anyway, what did you read? I feel like I talk a lot.
Speaking of tattoos. So I read this book called Burnout.
Oh my god, I saw your review and I was like, yes, she finished it. Thank God.
So, if anyone's wondering, I picked it up at about 3 p.m. yesterday and I finished it at 10 p.m. So, anyways, so premise of this book, I think it is like a sports contemporary romance, but the sports are motocross and gymnastics. Whoa. Finish a word.
My favorite sport is gym. No, it's not. He liked my Instagram post. He was like the 4th one. I have a fan.
I'm on SNL and you're not.
You're not.
I'm hot and you're balding. Anyways.
Yes.
So, if you've seen that TikTok, no one's seen that TikTok. Burnout. So, I don't really even know why they call it this, because I guess like you burn out on like motocross bikes, but like didn't really make sense. We never had a roll credits moment where they said the title. Unfortunate.
Oh, I thought it was like one of them was like burnt out of like whatever they're doing. Like they're kind of like tired of it.
No.
I don't know the fucking plot, so.
The girl, Avery. Okay. Sorry. Okay. I also read the Inheritance games over the last 2 weeks, and
she's also Avery.
And I was like, did I remember that right? And it's, because someone calls her Ave. Okay, yeah. Avery, gymnast, Olympic and collegiate. So she competed, I guess, like, I can't remember, but I think you can compete in gymnastics when you're like 16 or something. Yeah. Really stupid young. And so she did, and she medaled like silver.
Whoa.
In beam. And then she injured her. She like now is at like college. She's from Texas, but I don't know where they are now, because they only, maybe I missed it, but I don't think they're in Texas. I don't remember. Anyways, so she like injured her knee, had to get surgery, but like made a recovery, and it was like so like that was kind of at the end of the last season, and then at the beginning of this season, she's like trying to like train again, and she's like freaking herself out, and she's like, I don't want to hurt it, I don't want to get injured, whatever, and she has to like step her skill back a bunch, which is like super tragic for her, whatever. And then he does motocross racing, and so he was doing it, and then he stopped to like take care of his younger brother, because his mom died and his dad left, so he was like stopped to like take care of his family. And then he went
Why does this always happen in the athlete books? Someone's always dead, someone's always abandoning a family, there's always a younger sibling.
Well, he's actually, there's 4 siblings. There's an older brother, him, the middle brother,
and then the younger one,
the friend that is the brother, so there's like twins, and then the younger brother, so there's 5 siblings, sorry. And anyways, one of them's deaf, like it's a whole thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So anyways, he goes back, and his first year he's like about to like get first place and like win and like have a really great end of his season, and it's his like mom's birthday, like she would have been 50, and so he's like, I'm gonna win this for her, right? He doesn't say that, but like in his mind. And in a lot of racing sports you have teammates, and in like also a lot of racing sports like NASCAR and stuff, like you will, well, I don't know about NASCAR, but you'll both drive, so like
right, because it's like you have 2 like McLaren drivers or whatever the hell.
Yeah. But well, I don't know
how that works.
I think they might switch out, but like in some racing sports, like you'll both drive, and then it's like the team or whatever that sponsors you
Oh,
might have
they
two
win.
winners on the podium. Yeah.
I see.
So it kind of see with like sponsorships, but like teams can only have so many people. Anyway, so like the kid next to him, he's like 25, 26, and like the kid's like young, like 20 or something, and he makes him crash and he doesn't win, and his like the kid places and he's all pissed about it, and he like shoves him, and so his team drops him because he can't be a team player. And Avery's roommate and best friend is dating a motocross guy who does oh no, I can't remember what they specifically, they do like stunts basically.
Okay.
And she like is friends with them and like goes to the meets and stuff. And this guy, Knox, his name's Knox.
That's epic, actually.
Yeah, Knox Hamilton.
Add that to the baby name
or
list.
Knox Holland, sorry.
Of the
Knox Holland.
Add that to the baby name list of like children I'm not gonna have.
I think they'd be like terrified. They'd grow up and I'd be like, ew. Literally can't explain anything. I don't know why anyone listens to me. Anyways,
I listen.
He is friends with like the boyfriend, whatever. And he goes and like watches him perform. And he's like, I don't know what to do before the next season starts. Like, I'm trying to get a team to pick me up. And he's like, well, while you wait, come do this show with us. Like, learn some tricks. You can do the show, and like until you get good, like you can help us like travel and like break down and set up, because you have to bring all of this like motorcycles and like stunt stuff, and it's a show. And so he does. And like one of the things the boyfriend did to Colton did to like train and like make himself better was gymnastics. Like he trained with Avery and Hope. I think her name's Hope. And like those skills helped him be better at like tricks and like doing handstands and whatever. Have you ever seen X Games? That.
Yeah.
So he's like, how did you like, Knox is like, how did you get so good? Like, I'm so bad at this. Like, I'm used to like racing. Like, I've never had to like perform.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I trained in gym. And, of course, they hate each other. Like, Avery shows up at the meet and she's wearing all pink, but everyone in like the motocross world wears all black. And so, like, of course, he like notices her and she's all like blonde and prissy and whatever. And she drives a all pink Bronco inside and out. And I said, I need that.
Oh, sign me up. I love that.
Like, she only owns like pink clothes. Okay, Moonies. And so
okay, G-Fi. Like
and so they like don't hit it off. Like, he kind of is like they meet and she kind of like doesn't want to be there, but she's just there because like her roommate and best friend like wanted her to go out with her.
Yeah.
And he's like, you should come on ride on the back of my bike. And she's like, no. And he's like, you can ride something else. And she's like, you prick. And like, yeah, it goes crazy.
I don't know why we all end up hating these people. Like, why do we hate each other?
And I'm like, girl, I would have crumbled.
I would have like been on my knees, like rocking back and forth. That's insane.
I would have been like, like, shut up. Anyways. And so then he has to like go to ask her for help, and she doesn't want to, and they like come to this understanding, and then she learns that he's trouble because like his mom died and his dad was deadbeat, never around. And he's like dropped out of high school to take care of his like family and like whatever, and he's really dedicated and blah blah.
Just rolling my eyes, like, of course. But I'm eating it up, like.
Yeah, but he's like covered in tattoos, and like whenever at the gym, he always like takes off his shirt because it like gets in the way and whatever. But he. I
sent a TikTok to Lucy the other day, and it was this guy at the gym, and he was posting like a video of him like flexing, and it's usually I hate those kind of videos. I'm just like, oh, like stop. And he had like patchwork kind of tattoos, just like everywhere. One of them was on like his side, like of his ribs, and I was like, like this guy's not my type, like at all. But I sent it to Lucy, and I was like, there's something about this video, like something about his tattoos are really just doing it.
You read one Mafia romance.
I read one Mafia romance, and I'm like,
so
moving to Chicago.
Don't say that.
I'm not
illegal, not
illegal.
allowed.
But if the like Mafia asked me.
If you got kidnapped, I mean, what can we do?
I have to live there. Anyway.
He's like rose tattoos all like up one of his arms and on one of his shoulders, and it's for his mom because his mom was named Rose.
Slay.
And, like, his brother owns the bar called the Tipsy Rose, which was their mom's bar.
Oh, slay.
So, yeah, it was just, there's not really much to say besides that. But like, it was cute, and I liked.
Oh.
It was very like contemporary romance. Because, you know, there was like so little conflict and they just like fell in love and whatever. Oh, but in the end, like, he does get the deal. Like, someone watches him ride and like be a team player and whatever. The reason he kind of also does the stunt show is because you have to be like a team, because they do like team jumps, and like it's really like it's more of a team sport. And his old agent like won't take him back, but he gets him a deal on like another team, a new team. And at one point he buys her a pink bike. He hates pink, but he bought her a pink bike.
Who's gonna buy me a pink bike? What? Oh my god. The bike talk girls are going crazy. It's me.
It went absolutely wild. Like, you have to read this.
Oh my god.
I'm leaving out so many juicy details. And there's a couple scenes. In the beginning, somewhere in the beginning, he's like, she says something like about him being like a fuckboy or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh no, okay, sorry. He takes her to like this like random dirt track that people just like practice and like race at for fun, like very much like drag racing. Neek. And
Neek! I miss Neek! Oh my god, Neek's coming back. Neek!
Can't wait for that. And someone says something like the race isn't official, or like he doesn't officially win until he gets like his victory kiss or whatever. And like they'd kind of been doing this like, oh, I'm not gonna like hook up with you, whatever.
Yeah, you say that.
And then they like kiss or whatever, and then he says something about like leaning her over the bike, and then later they go back to this, like, she'd left her car somewhere, and like they go back to the parking lot, and he just like in the parking lot, I'm like, you're in public. And then again in his garage, and I was like, again, you're in public.
What the hell? I gotta read this. I gotta read this.
But his like the team he signs with is in New Mexico, and they're not in New Mexico. I still don't know where they are, but like New Mexico's 5 hours
They're not
away.
in New Mexico. Okay.
Yeah. So he has to like leave to go train and do all this stuff. And
no,
like, the whole thing is like, this isn't a relationship. Like, we're not doing a relationship. Like, we're just having fun or whatever. And then he leaves, and she's like, well, actually I did want a relationship. So like, whatever. And like, I'll just see you when you're back in town. And then he's like, no, because he like doesn't want to, he's like abandonment issues, but he doesn't want to like abandon anyone. So he doesn't want to like, he didn't want to sign the contract in the first place because he didn't want to leave his little brother. And his little brother's like, dude, I'm graduating high school. Like, go.
Yeah, he's like, I'm 18.
And there's like 4 other brothers there. Oops. And then like he does go, and then he comes back, and he's like, just kidding, I love you too, and whatever.
Yeah, of course.
And it, like, there was definitely like some conflict in this one, but also just very, like, it was like 400 pages. Like, I liked it though because it wasn't every hockey romance, every football romance. Like, it was
different.
Kind of different because of the sports, which makes it like interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a series, but they're not all out yet, and it's about all the brothers, and like the oldest brother plays football, and I don't know, like, the youngest brother plays a lot of sports. I think it's gonna like cover all of their stories, but there's only 2, or there's like 1 out and 1's coming out this summer.
Slay.
But speaking of series about sports, I read another sports romance. I gotta stop. Like, I'm sick. I'm sick.
Are you perchance speaking about Iced Out?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I told Lucy the other day on the phone. I was like, yeah, you can just tell me how that one ends, because I'm DNF in that. Like, I can't do it.
Yeah. So, Iced Out is a hockey romance, and now I'm trying to. Okay, yeah. So I read this one like last week, and I did finish it, but I only gave it 2 stars, which was like low-key kind of generous. But someone wrote it. Okay, they took the time.
Yeah.
But I was telling Rachel, so basically, yeah. this guy plays hockey for the college, and he's playing, and he's playing his rival, like his like long time, like through high school rival, like hates this kid, but like just hates this kid in like hockey. Um, and he spots this girl in the like blue student section wearing a red jersey from the opposing team. And I follow, or I don't follow, but she pops up on my For You page a lot, and it's this wife of an actual hockey player, and she wrote a hockey romance. It's not out yet, but she wrote it. And she always like, she's the one who did the jackets. Like I was sending you her stuff about jackets.
Oh, yeah.
But she gives like a bunch of like details about like, does the family get sweets? And then she like explains it, and like all this stuff like people would want to know, and like especially because people are like all over book talk, she's like, this is so fake, like this would never happen. And one of those things is she's like,
actually so cool.
You think this motherfucker is spotting someone in the crowd?
They can't see. Like not that they can't see, but they're just they're one, they're wearing helmets. Two, they're focused on the game because like that's what they're there to do. Like they don't notice the like they don't have enough time to notice the crowd. Like they're just don't. Like I want to read her book though. If she's like actually like that's her gig.
I'm excited. Like, and if she's no supporters, I'm dead. Like
yeah, I'm dead. Like I'm gone.
But yeah. So he like notices this girl, but he doesn't. He just like sees the jersey and is like,
"What are you doing?
What the hell?" And then they win. His team wins. I don't even remember his name.
Oh my god, his name's Easton. Easton Blake. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, you're so annoying.
Superhero name. And Maya's the girl. So they're at the like local bar Okay, Alexa. I'm sorry. My Alexa just went off. They're at the local bar, like college bar, like celebrating the win, and he sees they make the freshmen like dance to Pony by Genuine. Epic choice.
So like they're us. Like this hockey team is like the G5 equivalent. Like
yeah. That makes a lot
except
of sense,
it's us dancing to Pony and no one made us.
And I'm not being hazed. Like
yeah.
So the song starts like playing and the freshman hockey players dancing, but then like she gets up on the table and starts dancing is like still I think in like the red colors, right?
Yeah.
No, sorry. They lost. Like the main character's team lost.
Yeah, the rivals
won and they're at the bar. And Easton, the main character, is like sees this girl dancing and he's like, well, she's so hot. And then am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. Just like I'm just laughing because it's like just actually ridiculous. Like the plot.
Oh yeah. And he sees like all the opposing hockey players like
around
trying
her.
To get her down and like kind of like whatever, and he's like, are they messing with you?
And she's like, no, that's my brother.
She doesn't say that, but like his biggest rival is her brother.
Sorry, spoiled that for everyone.
Well, and so he's like, let's get out of her, and so he like tosses her over his shoulder and like walks out and whatever.
That's such a trope.
Like yeah, and she's like, whatever, and she's like, I don't date, and I don't especially don't date hockey players because her ex like cheated on her and he was a hockey player or whatever. And then he's like, why were you wearing like an opposing jersey? And she goes, oh, like my brother's so and so, and
he's like
realizes that like it's like his rival's sister. And so whatever, but he's like, oh, she's so like, I don't know, he like turns him on or something. And he like runs into her and he
I just can't with this plot. I just can't with the plot. Like
I feel like a middle schooler wrote this, but I've seen she posts on Instagram, so I know what this woman looks like.
Yeah.
I'm not a middle schooler. And he like the donut trucks on campus or whatever, and he only like, you know, he's an athlete, so he can't eat junk, and he
that plot point actually bothered me to no end. What do you mean you can't have a French cruller or whatever? Like what do you mean you can't have a sprinkle donut?
Oh, you can't have chicken tenders on a Tuesday? Get fucked.
Fuck you. I don't know. It's just like I really didn't like that.
He had this whole thing that like, oh, the university like trainers and like make a diet plan for all the players and like they're supposed to stick to it. And I was like, first of all, maybe, but like the whole thing was like he didn't get into like UMass, right?
Yeah.
University of Massachusetts. And so he went to this like smaller, like kind of good hockey school, but like kind of smaller school. And I was like, yeah, they have the funds to give you a meal plan. What the hell?
What the hell?
That was my plot point.
Yeah, like
dying. Also, like, you're in college, like, they don't, like, yeah, you want to feel your best, but like, I don't know. I've just never
he
seen it.
gives
Like,
like he just gives us he's such a
but...
simp.
Well, he's like whatever, and he goes to buy his favorite donut, and she gets the last one, and he makes her like split it with him, and like whatever. And so like they kind of keep having these like run-ins, and he like keeps trying to run into her and whatever, and she's like, I'm not doing it. Like, I don't date hockey players. And she's also trying to graduate a year early from. She already moved up a year in high school, and now she's trying to graduate a year early because her grandfather's like sick, and she wants him to watch her graduate. Like, it's like this whole plot point.
Yeah.
Plot twist, he doesn't make it.
And the book was bad when I didn't even get to that plot point. Like, I didn't even make it.
It was so far in the end.
I didn't make it.
But basically, like, there's literally no conflict, and this book was 346 pages, and there's no conflict because it's like basically he's like, you're my rival sister, and he's like, but I still like you, and she's like, no, I don't date hockey players. And probably within like a chapter they were like dating. But they have all these like run-ins and whatever, and he like, I don't know, they just start like dating basically. And
ridiculous.
Then it's not even like anything notable. It's like her Easton was trying to get like a hockey contract, so
yeah,
whatever. And so in the end, like, her grandfather dies, but she still graduates, and like it's fine, like, you know, it's a whole moment. But like really they kind of brushed over that, to be honest. Not the dying part, but like her getting over it.
Yeah, it's like next chapter, like, she's over it.
He signs for the Bruins, which was like his dream team.
Yeah, because they're in Boston.
But here's my qualm. Well, beyond there just being no plot point and her just immediately being like, okay, love you. Like, okay, what happened to like, I don't know, our like boundaries?
What happened to boundaries and like having some sort
self-respect?
Yeah.
Not that I'm one to really talk, but homegirl crumpled.
She crumpled, and it wasn't even like a crumple-worthy moment.
No. And well, my other thing that I hate about these books in general is it's always like, I'm such a player, like, and this is something like in this book specifically, he's like, I don't do sleepovers, like, I don't get attached, I don't do sleepovers, I rarely sleep with the same person more than a few times, like, whatever. And then like he sees her, doesn't even talk to her maybe once, maybe twice, and he's like, she's the one.
Yeah, she endgame.
I have to have her. And you're like, which is just so annoying, but whatever. And the worst part is it's not even just like, oh, they just decide that they like someone, or they're gonna whatever. It's that like there's not even inner monologue that's like, is she like changing everything for me? It's just like, that one.
Her.
She's hot.
I'll take it. How much?
A donut. Got it. Like, and so also at the end of this book, they have like a joint kind of, it's supposed to be a surprise, but anyways, joint like, congrats, you got an NHL contract, and congrats, you graduated party at like the end of the school year. And for some fucking reason, this idiot is like, I'm gonna propose. He doesn't tell anyone, but he's like, I'm gonna propose, but I like don't have a ring yet because like I actually been paid from the NHL, so I have like no money. And so I'm just gonna like propose now because I don't want to wait, and then like we'll get the ring later. And so he's like this slip of paper that like says something on it, not like a speech, but just like a phrase, and I don't even remember what it was. But he tries to like pull her aside at the party, so like they're in the backyard of the like hockey college house, which is essentially a frat house for the hockey players. And
it's probably disgusting in there.
I know. And that was my first thought. I was like, I could like picture it, and it just smells dank.
Yeah.
Like, oh. And he like pulls her aside in the backyard, like under this tree, and he's like trying to talk to her, but like someone comes up and interrupts him, and then she like grabs the paper out of his hand, and she doesn't really get it because it doesn't say like "Will you marry me?" It just says something like an inside joke or something, and so he kind of just like lets it go. Sir, if you had a plan, fucking stick to it. First of all, I'm not happy about it. Second of all, God, just no one has any like follow through.
Yeah.
Christ. And so then a couple months later, when the NHL season starts, like not even a full year, the Maya, the girlfriend or whatever, Easton's like mom and little brother, and like
his like mentor,
this like
kind of
his mentor, go to his first game. And he like gets some seats and they're all together, whatever, and they like all meet each other. Well, she knows the mom, but like they all kind of meet each other in the mentor and whatever. And the mentor is like listening to the hockey commentary on like a radio, which is a thing some people do. But on it they were like warming up, and on it they were like talking about like a pre-game interview that Easton did, and they were like, "How do you feel about like your first game of the season like starting or whatever?" And he's like, "Oh, great! Like I have my mom and my little brother, my mentor, and my fiance in the crowd." Mind you,
he didn't propose.
Mom hasn't even asked, and like that's fine. Like he already told her, he's like, "This is it," like blah blah, like you're the one, but like he didn't propose, and like she's all like, "Makes me feel so like warm and fuzzy on the inside." Like he really like whatever, but I'd be like, don't like. Yes, it's sweet, but also just like. I think I'm more pissed because I know he was trying to propose and he didn't, and then he still called her his fiance, and I was like, "You didn't do it right."
I think it'd be one thing. I think it'd be one thing if he called her that in like the pregame interview, and then it was like him on the ice, like on one knee. Like, yeah, that's so cheesy and stupid, but at least it'd be like, yeah, at least it would be, like, oh my god, and there he is on the ice.
Yeah, or like right after the game. Being like, I didn't think you'd hear it, or whatever.
Yeah. But it's like,
no, blank, flip page blank.
Not even an acknowledgement.
And another crazy plot point in this is that like she has all these like vibrators or whatever, and it's like kind of a few too many mentions. You're like not.
Yeah, she keeps
like. Yes.
No, I just making sure nothing falls and breaks. So I took one of the books off my bookshelf. Oh, yeah. And it was one of the ones facing out, so you could see the cover. And the books that were next to it kind of just over on the other ones, and I'm just hoping that those hardbacks can stay up so they don't knock over this mug.
I need to grab that.
I actually might. I'm a little scared. Uno moment.
Welcome back.
I feel like something's always happening in my room whenever we film.
That's okay. I feel like
in World War Z is always happening in here. Like
they don't want us to podcast.
No.
Oh, okay. What I was saying is there's like kind of this whole plot point that she has like vibrators and stuff, and like whatever, but like kind of a little excessive. And then I went to the author's Instagram page because I said like I looked at her page or whatever, because I was kind of curious because like they reference all of these people and these kind of like romance stories and love stories, and it kind of sounds like everyone's gonna have like a book, but there's technically 3 books in the series, but this is the first one, and there's like a prequel, and then I think the second one's like coming out. Not there is a prequel. Any of them. I'm just confused because I feel like maybe she wrote this one or they wanted to start with one, but because in this book they like meet this couple or whatever that's like someone's brothers and his fiance.
Yeah, he used to play on the team. Yeah.
Oh, and there's also the coaches.
The coach, yeah. The coach, the assistant coach, and the coach's daughter, and like the head coach's daughter.
I don't know what the first book is, but it's one of those two. Which I'm just like, why did you do that? Anyway, it's not the point. But I looked up her Instagram, and she is like brand dealing vibrators.
Yeah, she's like sponsored.
I was like, this is not my vibe. I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Not that there's a problem with doing that.
No, I just was like, this is.
It's just weird.
It just wasn't my crowd, and I said,
yeah.
So honestly, the book felt like a sponsorship. No, I'm kidding. But, yeah.
Well, do you want to get into some good literature or?
Yes. Are you talking about the Inheritance games?
I am.
So I told Rachel. So Rachel is Team Grayson. Are we surprised? No.
I have this fancy.
Oh, that is nice. I just have all the paperbacks. Well, I have the first 3 paperbacks.
Yeah.
So
I love this copy. It's so nice.
Rachel is Team Grayson, and I told her
I am.
I'm not on the same team as you.
She sent me the eyeballs, and I said, "Fuck you." But not really.
But I still wait. You still don't know. So
both.
Actually, I'm Team fuck all of them.
Oh, really? I'm Team both. Bofa. I love them. That's crazy.
I think no. So this. I've been itching to talk about this all week. So it's a great book. I really love it, and it was very reminiscent to me of something I would have read in middle school and high school.
Yes.
I think it is YA, but like great mystery.
It's really good.
Super engaging. Like honestly, I thought I knew it was. I thought I knew it. I thought I knew where it was going, and I was wrong. And I love when like a mystery book can like fool me like that.
Fool me
it's
once.
Probably like not.
Shame on you.
Shame on you.
Fool me twice.
Shame fool me once, can't get fooled again.
Yeah.
And so. Yeah, no, okay. So great plot. My problem with the love triangle, I have a couple questions. Okay. He gives her that riddle, and he's like, how many sides does a triangle have? And she's like, 2. I'm gonna need someone to fucking explain.
It's 3.
Every time they told a riddle, I reread it 6 times and the answer, and I was like, I don't get it.
Lucy hates a riddle.
I should be smarter than this.
No, it's okay, because this series, the Inheritance Game series and the Natural series, which is both by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, I read early on in my getting back into reading career. And yeah, my feeble brain was like, what do you mean there's 2 sides to a triangle?
Is it because it's more of an arrow? Like the brothers are it's not a triangle because the brothers, but but traditionally you would still call that a love triangle.
It's a love triangle. It's a love triangle, but I think what we're actually just part of the Illuminati. I think he means actually, I don't know.
Wait, I think it just clicked for me.
Okay.
There's 2 sides because it's not like a triangle. It's more like she's supposed to pick a side.
I see. Because she's the point, and there's 2. She's picking between the
self-realization in real time.
Whoa. I'm picking both. I would say to Jameson, bofa.
It's a circle, babe. Get in.
It's a circle. Girl, it's a straight line. It is a line. So get in line.
We're actually all holding hands.
We're all
seen Challengers.
Eiffel Tower.
Brothers.
Jameson and Grayson. I don't care.
But so one of my do I kind of like the romance plot point? Yes. I think it moves it along.
You do.
Because it's always well, she kind of gets drawn in by this, and they draw each other in that way to the games. But it's kind of annoying in my opinion because it kind of just pissed me off at times because I'm stop solve the puzzle. I think I just was getting frustrated with everyone. And I was I want to know what happened. Stop making out with him. I don't care.
Oh, I was keep making out with him. Don't solve the puzzle.
I think I was just kind of frustrated. I've been on the bitter train lately, where I'm just bitter about shit.
Yeah.
And maybe that's part of it. But I'm not really a fan of the whole I want to protect you, but I can't be with you. I can't do that or whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying.
Grayson, it just play the game, dude, and the game's her.
Oh, but literally, I just
so.
I read these books a while ago, But maybe it's because I say I'm team both, because I am, because I like both of them and they both have their great qualities. But reality, if I was Avery, I would have chose Grayson. And I don't know why she didn't. Like, it still kind of boggles my mind. But I think it's probably just because of his trauma, because he, like, killed that girl. Like, he didn't kill I forget her name,
no
but...
one killed her.
No one killed her. She did it to herself. Like...
Emily.
But she was there. Like, he was there at the...
They were both there.
Yeah.
Bofa.
Bofa. She picked Bofa.
she picked Bofa.
Bofa. But she actually was kind of fucked. Like, I started feeling so bad for those brothers because she played them like a fiddle.
No, that was a little much.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think if she had, like, I do like Grayson in the, like, type wise more.
Yeah. He's so beautiful.
But I do absolutely
he's 17.
See how, like, if she... I think he's 19.
I think... Okay.
He's 19, Jameson's 17. And
Got
she's 17.
17. Yeah.
1.
Age starts with 1.
But, like, if she'd been with him, it would have just been, like, all this, like, trauma. And, like, I can't. You're gonna die. And, like, I'm not fighting with my brother over you. And...
Yeah, I think that was a huge... He didn't want to get stuck in that cycle again of, like, I can't have another Emily situation of, like, where I'm trying to win your favor.
Yeah.
And I get that. But I just would have been like, girl, you won! Like, it's
and
you!
To be fair, I've only read the first 2, so it took, like, 2 books for her to, like, finally end up with Jameson, and there's 3 more. I have the 3rd one, but I don't have the new one, and then the newest one coming out, obviously. It's not out.
Yeah.
But might all change, because I have this feeling that, like, Jameson is gonna hurt her, because, like, he says he's like, oh, like, the game's always my biggest priority, which I'm kind of interested, because the first book ended on, like, such a cliffhanger of, like, we're immediately going to go into the next book and, like, another game's going to happen, but the second one just ended with, like, no thing. And I know they said, like, there's always a mystery here.
Yeah.
Okay, Scooby-Doo. But
basically,
just, so I don't know. I think I just get frustrated when, like, because normally when you read mystery books, like, they tell you everything and, like, you know everything, and then you're, like, screaming at the characters to figure it out. But it's kind of opposite this one, where, like, you don't know anything and they tell you, and then I'm just pissed the whole time.
Yeah. Like, you find out when the characters find out, which I kind of like, because I like that in movies. Like, all the, like, horror thriller movies that, like, we would watch are, like, oh my god, like, explained article. Like, I enjoy that, because I don't want to know, because I don't want to be screaming at the characters, because then I'm just going to get frustrated that I know and they're too stupid to figure it out. Where it's like, you're screaming at the characters, you're like, no, don't go in there, the monster just ran in there. Yeah. You know?
Speaking of love triangles, Nash and
her sister?
What's her sister's name? Like,
Liz? Oh, fuck, I don't remember.
Crap. And Alyssa?
I should know more. Yeah. Oh, no, it's Libby.
Libby. Alyssa.
Yeah.
And Nash. I kind of don't like that Libby and Nash are, like, maybe kind of doing something.
Yeah.
It's, like, implied. I'm like, I like Alyssa.
Yeah.
I fuck with
do.
Alyssa.
I do too. I don't know. I just, like, I think Libby and Nash they're very, like, grumpy sunshine, which I really like. But again, I don't really care about them, because I'm in it for the...
Well, unless they talk about it later, but they never really, like, address it. It's just kind of, like,
they don't
in the background.
Really address it. It just kind of, like, happens in the background, and you're like, wait, when did y'all... Yeah.
Oh, this fan art goes fucking crazy.
What is it? Show me.
Oh, I'm just, like, on Google. Like, this is not how I thought anyone looked.
Oh, wait. I want to see.
Well, they're, like, tiny.
Oh. Should I go on Google?
I'm gonna go on Pinterest.
I
just typed in Inheritance Games. Characters in Inheritance Games.
Oh.
Don't know.
I was like so obsessed with this book. I still am in an aspect. Like I still have like such a deep love for this book just because I feel like
Sorry, I did not need to cut you off.
No, show me.
Why they put this fuck ass cowboy hat on Nash? Like it shouldn't.
He's
be
a cowboy.
I know. But
I don't like this. This is not how anyone looks in my brain.
See that?
Anyway, I had such like a love for this book because I feel like it really got me back into reading because it got me into like series of being like, oh my god, I need the next one right now.
Yeah.
So one of my wallpapers on my computer is this like collage that I made of like aesthetics. It still is like my wallpaper. Because it's just like rich people. Hot rich people. Let me see.
Yeah, I want to be a hot rich person.
Oh yeah. I love it. I love it. So Pinterest time. I'm excited for you to get into the last one, and then Brothers Hawthorne, which I actually think Brothers Hawthorne was really good.
Is that like in a paperback?
I don't know. I have it in hardback, but the time I bought it, it like just had come out.
Oh yeah.
So
it came out almost a year ago. I feel like when the new one comes out, it has to come out in paperback. There's no way. Oh yeah, it does.
But Brothers
I really
Hawthorne
love the covers on these.
They're so cool, and there's like all the little hidden things in it. So nice.
Mm-hmm.
But Brothers Hawthorne. That's what I was talking about. That one is so good because it focuses on Jameson and Grayson, and it's a dual POV, also dual story, which is really interesting. And we learn a lot about Grayson. We learn a lot about Grayson and his past, which obviously I really like. But yeah, I feel like Inheritance games could have benefited from like a triple POV. I'm insane. I love if a book is dual POV, you've done it. You've done it right.
The triple POV would have taken like forever to write, but
for sure
really coordinate because it's such an intricate story of like the clues and everything.
Yeah,
but I think it really could have worked because sometimes people come back and they're like, here's what I found, and I'm like, I feel like you could just like show that
they could have found
cut and then been like, I just got done telling so and so what I saw, and then pick up from their POV, or like so and so just told me what they saw, whatever.
Like I really like when books do that where it's like, and then I recounted blank, and then it skips to the like the next line in the paragraph is their reaction to the news that you have already read in the previous chapter, if that makes sense.
That would have been a little bit epic.
Yeah,
I don't know, there's really not much to say. It's such a great book and I feel like people know that, and
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, I urge you to read, if you so choose, I urge you to read The Naturals, because that is a book where it's like you don't see coming. It's also very horror movie. Like I feel like we would love, if this was a movie, like I feel like we would really love like the movie adaptation because it's so like at the end, like
yeah, that's why I have the first one on my Kindle, so I just need to like get around to it. But I think I'm trying to like finish this series before maybe or at least the ones that are out before I start that one. But,
for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, this book reminded me a lot of, and I don't even remember what this book was called. I read this book in like high school, probably middle school, and it not like Lemony Snicket, but like kind of. It was this game where like basically it was Willy Wonka, but like all these kids got like picked, like you could like enter this like contest or whatever, and you had to like take this test, and then you got picked to go in this mansion, and this mansion was like kind of like,
is it the Weston game?
Wasn't a series, really, it was like a one-off book.
I think it's the Weston game. That's a really popular like kid mystery, big house.
Published in 1978, maybe.
It is oh god, fuck. Give me the fucking plot. Sorry. I don't oh no, wait. 16 heirs to Sam Weston's fortune assemble at the Sunset Towers apartment building, where they organize into pairs and charged with solving a puzzle. Is it that?
Maybe. I read this so long ago.
Okay.
It was more like a contest, and then like everything was like weird and mechanical and like just crazy. And it would have made a really cool movie if they could have pulled it off. But it's like sometimes stuff like this where like, and maybe the Inheritance games, like I think it can make a really cool show.
Yeah.
Because nothing in there's like unfathomable. It's like oh wait, all of a sudden walked on air. Like it's just like there was invisible ink.
Yeah.
But you know, House of Anubis vibes. You've thought about that in years. So I don't know.
It's a good one.
Not a lot of thoughts. Just like read it. It's good.
Yeah, it's. I mean, if you haven't read it already, like, what are you doing? But yeah, they're really good. They're really good.
That's all I got.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of really all I read. Just my Mafia books. And then my romance books, which I don't know if I should talk about on here.
Maybe we can do a whole like...
a whole recap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Well, till next time, everyone.
Bye, my sea stars.
Go read.
Go read.